or when they're bragging for you. Because, as I said before, they better have to be 100% confident. And later on, when you figure out what happens in the substances and they tell you, probably through testimony, what they know, I just want you to keep in mind why you have to ask, inquire, why the confidence. Because they get caught as a whole, right? And then the bragging comes in as a further slash. Because if you see this in the press is involved, when you see on television, criminals posing as victims and then bragging about it and gloating and humiliating the victims of their own crimes, you know that some harsh punishment is coming, right? Because what else you're gonna say? What? Because that's it. Great. That's even better. That's everybody. Do you think it's just one or two people involved in this? Either way, it's fantastic for me. It's just one way or another. Again, if there's no criminal, then everyone's a criminal. Simple as that. As for the crimes that clearly happened, the issue is that, right? So the entire hopes lie strictly on the possibility that they're going to fool everybody else and they're going to lie to something explicit. Beautiful. Just one thing in mind. Get them to say to you what the expectation was, what the plan was, for them to genuinely believe that that's going to be the getting away thing. Was just actually expecting that everybody else, and talking about like people in all sorts of places throughout this country and nearby, they're going to take a serious hit for whatever ways it comes through their bad PR because of something they did, that they are that influential, that they're just going to just actually lie for some reason, that they're going to do some atrocity to me. Get that and get people to know. I don't even care all that much. Just get people to know what the plan was, the getaway plan. And keep that in mind, because as I said, this level of confidence from little share doesn't come from no reason. Does a spoiled brat having? You can say, yeah, just a fucking spoiled brat, doesn't know anything about the world. But this is shit that then to understand how shitty, especially this place can get. And it might just live in the general expectation. Again, they're not particularly smart. They might live in the general expectation that the guys at Hilton and all the other places are going to take a serious hit to their income because of something that they are doing for fun. But that's fine. But they don't seem to be the type of individuals that would have been grown up to spoiled enough to do something else. So, again, pay close attention to that. I'm not actually pissing. Although I did piss before, I decided it was very relevant. I'm just pretending to showcase that criminal feel. And what he's doing. So, not really actually. I did before, but right now most of just to showcase that shit. And as I said, pay close attention to the gloating and to everything else, because that's relevant. That is not just a casual, okay, you saw a cop involved in that maybe. That's the confidence of someone who knows, not someone who thinks, someone who knows that nothing will happen. It might be wrong, and sure as hell wrong in this case. But I'm just saying, the type of confidence is not someone who has a glance of an idea. And when something literally can only actually get away if everybody believes that this crime that you see every day, all the improprieties, all the absurdities, all the parks in the highway as a stalker, clearly, all the rest, all the explicit stuff don't exist at all, like zero. That doesn't come from, as I said, from just an idea on one statement by a corrupt cop. No. That comes from some assurances coming from someone else. And as I'm saying to you, just tell that to people. To actual people, not to awkward criminals. I'm talking people. Just simple as that. I don't need to know. It doesn't make much of a difference to me. I'll do exactly the same thing either way. But tell people. My opinion, be not a boost to this. And this is how you can get this crime that, just like they are doing, instead of being just a one-time news or even a documentary, should stay in people's consciousness for a while, because those things, and you can spread them out or you can just give focus points later. So as you're witnessing this, you're witnessing as I discovered it bits of the time, and now I'm not hoping it's gonna last as long as they did, like 4 years. But just the fact it's not gonna be a week in news and it's gonna last for longer, it causes the impact you expect, right? After all, who gonna bring the family to a place where you say those things are being practiced with impunity? So much drugs that they would essentially have that thrown in the air on torture one person systematically, and everybody else who find it funny. the sheer presence of law enforcement. It's not like you hadn't seen cops around, right? Again, it's not Somalia. The general expectation. So as I said, once you get everything, once you get the substances, once you get the testimony, once you probably just showed up there, you know, like that guy you saw, that criminal, act like him. The one who just stopped her, just do it exactly like he does. No, I can't testify. You can see me lucid? Yeah, I'm lucid now, right? There's other times I'm not. You notice that too, right? Do I need to expel it for you? They probably need you. I hope you don't. As I said before, when the equality is necessary, if you think it's not, right? It is about to rain. Yeah, I can leave a chart in there until afternoon. But then I'm pinned down here. I don't know though, I am thinking if I could just do the backups. That's what they're trying to stop. But they're gonna throw a lot of normal drugs on me. I don't know though. I don't know. Yeah, if it rains, and it rains bad, and we're gonna want to leave, so we'll pick up the other thing. Jojo! Deixa eu pegar pra pegar. Agora que a gente tá com a minha mãe. And then the one day when I would leave, the rain's about to pour. Not true. Expected. What do you got? Because what else? If I stay here anyways, I'm just wasting, right? We've had the phones at 5% battery, it's gonna die in a minute. I was like, father by choice. You know how I couldn't think this before, but I couldn't. Besides, this is the impact to have on me. I need to ditch the fucking box somewhere. Rain's the problem. That's the issue. If we could just leave it there in the back, that'd be fine. But it's not simple. Alright, also, I cannot move. So I have to find where the boxes are, because I know for sure today is there was a box on that thing. I remember to have put that in the backpack, this one, but I'm not finding it. I'm not finding it. Oh, by the way, you're gonna know the argument there as far as the things there also goes. As far as leaving this here, it's not even intending on that. Right now, I glanced at that part for a second, and I just want to leave it as very simple. The threat is that you just throw away my things the other time, and that's the point. So every time you see me struggling to carry those things, you know it's the one responsible. Because it's not even about criminals coming here to mess with the things here. That's important. That would have been my fear, but that isn't the main point. And to be fair, it wouldn't make any sense anyways, to leave this bag of evidence behind there. What is the expectation? That you have this random bag to arrive in this place and be allowed to just search for everywhere to pick up a random bag? You never saw that happening in 1 year, or even close to this. Like, yeah, that also will not work, but I'm saying that is not the fear. The fear is that this criminal specifically would do that. That's, again, if you see my sounding a bit too nice there, again, yes, after that, I tried it in good faith earlier. At this point, there is no good faith because you know the crimes as they happen. being the only party injured in this, very clearly, with no uncertain terms, I don't feel like I need, at any regard, to even have. Besides, in case you fail to notice, it knows. It knows what I'm saying, even though it has no legal means to. So, again, not relevant legally, as I said, it has no means to, not to mutual court. But for the people, it's important to understand a bit of context, and the context is this. He knows. No, this is secret, right? So, again, this is designed on purpose. The most important, that's not even the bottleneck now. No, the bottleneck is something simpler. I don't have the bag to put the thing in to move out. It means that I have to go open like this, which is another problem because it's open, but I can seal that with the tape. The tape increased in price. From the time I went there and the chip pooped herself because they put something in the air, until the second time, the whole thing increased $1. $1 is hardly a big deal. It is relevant for you though. So keep that in mind. What else? When I say he knows, there's several references to this, references even to my family in many regards. Not words, not mentions, that's a different thing. I don't even mind how much the mentions are more normal. References, though, that is kind of a big deal. As it happened, all the things that happen back home when they're drugging me. Yeah, I think the like a better option. Paper around, very good. You know, again, I don't really have a choice. Oh, this one is actually a bit simpler, and this one is a bit of a double-edged sword. Unlike the evidence, which, well, damaged, it's not comes back. This thing only has inside the thing that never worked, plus the cat toys, some bottles, some worst things. The most valuable thing by far, the cat toys. And again, that comes with some tow as well, particularly after all the cruelty they did to those animals. For certain, there's not doing harm to anyone. But stay in mind, they're even gonna put it. I just have to say it again. No. Ironically enough, of all the things that I said, the most valuable one probably was the thing there about paying attention to what the intention to get away from this crime is. Like, what is the expectation? What is the lie? What is the catch? What is the thing that they think is actually going to get you away from the walk crime? Given that the whole walk crime per sandwich probably they even they realize not going to stick. And pay attention to that and tell that to the public, because again, it's not that I'm concerned that it's going to work at any point. It's just the fact that I'm thinking that, but either way, it's going to be fantastic evidence, right? Just turn to people and say, yeah, those are the guys that doing that? Yeah. Therefore, just going to kill the guy and then deal with the things, or they're just going to make everything disappear and try to lock him up somewhere, or he's going to do this, or that, or what is the actual intended. And I say emphasis on the word intended. I don't make sure about many things, including my own future. I mean, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I can guarantee you I think that will not. And be either from common logic, as I said before, these things are safe for me in prison. Like, with all the people you see around, and especially knowing what you know about me, and know the impact we have of me being murdered in custody after all of this, do you think that, plus, it's not like I have much to lose, right? And it's not just about this, it's about just prospects in general. Again, you know that when the time comes, but for what you keep in mind that as I said, I can guarantee that thing. Mine, I can guarantee some that will not happen. Others, but with more positive sense, I cannot say. I can hope and I can work for that, but so again, also the sense of perspective, right? You have to see me fully facing possibilities, what can happen in a realistic sense. But as I said, even on that, well, so I should say, when you see them finally starting to face a little bit of the uncertainty about the future, when they're hoping it's a new chip, because again, it's a new chip, anyone can see it. I mean, they think they're going to be sharing that with each other, and they likely share that with each other. You know how YouTube works? So I'm quite sure that it's not going to play out bad for them at all. And once it does, we'll see what happens. Now, there are more serious concerns. Again, our opinion is a bed of roses. We need to take care of the precautions, but at the end of the day, that's essentially my point. I'm just saying that the ceiling, as I mentioned, of the uncertainty of not knowing for sure what's going to happen, which to me is just an average fucking Tuesday, right? I mean, what is that is different than any other day? But for them, as I said, interesting to see entire people finally having some normal sensations. Either way, still you may and go from there.